Hey, good afternoon, guys. I'm digital anchor Brandi Smith, and do we have a treat for you this afternoon? I know a lot of you are probably gearing up for spooky season celebrations. I know I have a costume party later tonight. We have Halloween coming up next weekend. So if you are really trying to get in that spirit right now, if you just want to embrace it all, I went to 4 haunted houses for you to test them out. What we're gonna do is watch them. I'm also going to show you a clip we didn't air because I was so stressed out. I couldn't even edit it. There was also some bleeping involved in that editing process. So I'm going to run down these 4, but ask any questions while we're watching. I'll try to answer them on the back end of each story, and then let me know what your favorite haunted house in the Houston area is. I am just doing the fake ones. I know there are haunted places kind of scattered all over Texas. I shared a link on my personal Facebook page day before yesterday. Yelp's list of the most haunted places in Texas. Nowhere in Houston even made the top 20, but there is a spot in Galveston, lots of places in Austin and San Antonio. Okay, anyway. Let's get started. We're going to start with the Houston Terror Dome. That's over in Channelview. It's right off of I-10, and there is a lot there. So you have the Terror Dome, which is the haunted house, but then you can also get, you can also do axe throwing. There's a mini escape room. There's a shooting gallery with zombies. There's, they call it cranium kitch, or cranium catch, and you try to throw a brain in like a moving zombie head. So lots to check out there. I took my friends Brandi and Lee. You'll see them in this video, but here we go.
We're at the Houston Terror Dome.
Just off the East Freeway in Channelview, you will find a host of haunts. What started as a modest haunted house 13 years ago has grown into a full-blown spooky experience.
Not only do we have the Houston Terror Dome, we have axe throwing, we have paintball, we have Nightmare Alley Selfie Saloon, we have a bar, we have cranium catch. This is an event. It's a fun time for the whole family.
Before we dove into the dome, owner Shannon Brinkley offered a word of warning.
You need to bring an extra pair of underwear when you come to the Houston Terror Dome. And if you forgot to bring the underwear, we sell them here too.
All right, we are suited up, ready to go through the Houston Terror Dome. I've got my friends Brandi and Lee here. None of us like haunted houses, so let's see how it goes. Come on, guys. Oh, that's crazy. Oh no. I just lost 9 years of my life. Oh gosh. Oh no, 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 no.
And we work really hard here at the Houston Terror Dome to get you terrified.
I'd say job well done.
We're ready for you.
Yeah, they do a good job. We only went through a small section of the Terror Dome as well. There's a lot more to see if you really love the spooky stuff. There was that 3D section in there, and then just a whole lot more. So I just shared a link in the chat if you want to dig in more, if you're looking for ticket information. It's $25 for the Terror Dome, and then $40 is the VIP access. Hours, like if you wanted to go tonight, it opens at 8, but the Nightmare Alley Selfie Saloon that you saw there, it gets going an hour before then, so you can show up as early as 7. There's a lot of cool backdrops, and we didn't even get to show all of those. So like a crypt, a clown car crash, dismembered heads. Obviously, like you gotta have the stomach for it, but there's a lot before and after that you can do, either if you're waiting to get in or afterwards if you're just trying to burn off some of that adrenaline. I would recommend the axe throwing. I had never done it before. Kind of cathartic. You're in a cage, it only took me 3 tries before the axe actually stuck in the target. So that was a win in my book. The next haunted house I went to was up in Kingwood. It's right off of North Park Drive, and it's called Purgatory Scream Park. I think I've made it clear at this point, I would not normally, by my own volition, go to a haunted house. This is suggested by some of my bosses, so we decided to go for it. And I think you see in this video my soul leaving my body a couple times. And it's not even again the most stressful bit, which I'll come back to later. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil it and tell you I didn't make it all the way through Purgatory. But the brothers behind it are so much fun. They've been doing this for years. You know what? I'm gonna let them talk about it.
This is Purgatory Scream Park in Kingwood.
Whose sick brain comes up with this stuff?
Yes.
Brothers Shane and Ryan Glasgow got indoctrinated early.
Our grandfather used to help set up a little yard display for the 8 to 10 kids that would come visit.
As adults, they set up a home haunt in 2005 and dropped more than $60,000 into it over the years.
Started shutting down our streets, so we made the decision in 2013 to turn pro.
That's how this place came to be. First as Kingwood Asylum, now as Purgatory Scream Park.
We have put a lot of our time and all of our money into the attraction itself to build it up to this monster that it is now.
It usually takes someone about 30 to 35 minutes to make it through the 4 parts of the attraction. Asylum's first, then Asphyxia takes you through 2,000 square feet of caves. Deadwood introduces you to some backwoods crazies before you wrap up in Hysteria.
We spend a ridiculous amount of time in our detail, and I think the customer just gets lost in it. It's you walk into a scene and just you're taken over by whatever character's in that particular scene.
Those characters also like to make surprise appearances for the crowd waiting outside.
The tagline here is "We manufacture fear. Let's see if they deliver."
What's the problem? Yeah, who's getting cold?
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Doing this solo was the worst idea I have had.
You're here to play tag now, right?
No, thank you.
Play hide and seek instead.
No, thank you. 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 No, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Not that time. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, when I talked about my soul leaving my body, you saw it right then, right? And that was I only made it a quarter of the way through. So the part you saw is called Asylum, but then you continue on. I bailed. You continue on, And there's Asphyxia, which is 2,000 square feet of caves, but you wind through, so it feels like a lot more. Gets really narrow. There's Deadwood, which is kind of backwoods crazies who haven't seen other humans for a while. And then Hysteria at the end with Kill Count the Clown and his crew of other maybe not okay clowns back there. I did have fun shooting this one at the end. Once we were out, once my heart had lowered to an acceptable level, going back to Hysteria and kind of getting the behind the scenes look was cool. It settled me a little bit, although we did at one point have to hide because another group was coming through. So we had to hide in one of the clown hiding places, and I was convinced even then something was gonna jump out at me. I'm still trying to, at home, get used to that nothing is gonna jump out of the corner, closet, bathroom door, whatever. A little jumpy. Still more than a week after I went to all of these. Well, I guess it's been a week. It's been a week since I went to Purgatory. Still sticking with me. So again, there's a clip that wasn't in that segment that I'm going to come back to in a minute. But if you're looking to go to Purgatory, they're open Friday, Saturday, Sundays, 8 to 11. I would say get there early. We were there before they opened. That line started forming early. Now what's fun is they'll usually have a big screen up. Like if you go tonight, I suspect they'll throw up the Astros game because that's what they were doing last week. They have bands sometimes, and of course they have characters coming by to pay you a little visit. Michael from Halloween liked to linger around me before we went in, and then I ran into him in the haunted house, and I knew it was coming. It still gets you. I was trying to look up any other information about Purgatory that you might want. Oh, ticket prices. So they are $40 for GA, that takes you through all 4 parts, or VIP is $60, and that's kind of like a fast pass. It's going to get you through the line a little sooner. No questions at all? Okay, well then I guess we should just dive into the next one. So I had learned my lesson after going to Purgatory solo, that it was really better to have a friend there with you. So I invited my friend Megan to go with me. She was a good sport, to Redrum Fear Park. So this is in Richmond, right along Highway 90. 4 different haunted houses, and I'll outline that in the story as well. But you know what? I'm just gonna let it go.
Right off Highway 90 in Richmond, tucked into the woods, Redrum Fear Park is waiting for you.
It is the first and only haunted theme park in Fort Bend County.
It's the brainchild of Mike Caruso and his wife Andrea, who started Redrum 11 years ago.
We started out as a real small mom and pop business. We had a staff of only about 13 people, and we've already exceeded over 160 with full staff.
About 140 of those employees are actors, here to bring your nightmares to life.
When we hear the screaming, it's just music to our ears, and we know that we're doing a great job.
There is so much to see and do here, but I brought my friend Megan for a one-of-a-kind experience. We're gonna go through the Twisted Circus.
It uses a concept called chroma depth, which allows all the various colors in there to come at different elevations.
Oh, this is cool. We're okay. We're okay. We're fine.
No, we're good.
You back there making friends, Megan? Yes.
Everywhere you go, there's just something stimulating your experience as you go through.
No kidding. You can watch an extended version of our trip through the 3D Twisted Circus on khou.com. It is one of 4 attractions on site. You can also check out Cinegore, which takes you inside your favorite horror movies, Deadwood Asylum, and Laser Fury, a Mad Max-inspired laser tag experience.
And we want to make sure when you get here, there's something here for everybody.
There really is. Again, the lines start forming really early. I believe they open at 7:30. Let me pull that up real fast. And it's one I've heard over and over again. A lot of the teenagers like it, the older teens. You got to have the stomach for it. I know depending on the age, it might not be appropriate. So definitely check the websites. I'm sharing our articles on each of these as we go, so you can get a little more information and dive in if you want to. Sorry, my IFB just got stuck in my hair. Now, we were invited to go into Cinegore. We were invited to go into the asylum just to see for ourselves, but after making it through the Twisted Circus, and you saw, like, we hightailed it out of there. It was a no-go. It was a no-go for us. That was haunted house enough for us. Okay, I keep checking to see if there are any questions. But I'm not seeing any, so I'm just gonna keep plugging along. And we're gonna wrap it up with 13th floor. So of the 4 that I profiled, this is the newest one. They have locations all over the country, but this is year 3 here in Houston for 13th floor. They have a couple different themes, and here we go.
We do so much here and so many different types of scares.
General Manager Jeremy Tucker is gonna share a little bit more about the haunt while I explore.
It's like a movie you're walking through. It feels like you're part of the environment instead of watching what's going on. And everything is so themed, meaning like the walls move, the ceilings move, the floors move. Some areas you might have to crawl or open doors. We do a lot of things different at our haunted house to make sure the experience is worthwhile while you're going through.
This, a little too realistic barn, is part of 3 different themes at 13th floor this season.
Doll maker, we have Dead in the Water and Bad Blood.
I think you could call them a screaming success.
We enjoy hearing that because we know they're coming to have a good time, and they're having a good time hearing those screams.
Oh God.
We also always hear people like, it was scary, but we had so much fun.
Fun? What the? Sure. It's fun.
It is a great feeling. I know that sounds really weird.
But the best feeling? Relief after making it through.
It's about a 10.
Okay. Every time I get out of there, it takes me probably an hour for my heart rate to calm down. And in the beginning, you can see, I'm like, I got this. I've been through haunted houses now. I am a pro. It takes like 2 jump scares for me to just be done. That's it. We had a question from Kimmy about Redrum, and she asked what movie I did in Cinegore. I didn't even go in Cinegore. I couldn't bring myself to go in Asylum or Cinegore, none of it. After Twisted Circus, we were just like on that high, and then you started seeing the characters out and about. Now, again, I had gone back, I'd seen them all in makeup. I see the process of people becoming these monsters, and still, it's like a mental hurdle my brain can't jump over. Like, these are just people. They're just people. But in the moment, I mean, these haunted houses do such a great job of setting the scene, of the lighting and the music, and the characters are so great. Yeah, it makes it fun. Yeah, Kimmy says it looks so fun and scary at the same time. That is exactly how I would describe it. Now again, would I voluntarily go through one of these? I don't know, 13th floor, when I was talking to the general manager, Jeremy, there, he says, you know, on a given night, they'll have anywhere from 20 to 50 people who can't make it through. They have to pull them out of the haunted house. And I know that happens in Purgatory. I had walked through just the beginning part of Asylum to get set up for the interview, because we did the interview with Shane and Ryan there. And it's the second room. And they say they lose people even by then. Second room. After they've waited in line, they've paid their money, and then they just have to bail because they're not just emotionally ready or psychologically ready to deal with that. I will say some of these spaces do other things with that space other times of the year. So in talking to Ryan and Shane and their general manager, Kevin, they'll do, I think it's called Hide and Survive, as kind of a pop-up about once a month, where the set, they kind of rearrange the maze and then send you through. You have a couple minutes you decide whether you're going to hide or you're going to run, and then they send an actor in there to hunt you down. So hide and seek, but a little more extreme. And I mean, they turn out the lights, everything. Kimmy says, I checked out 13th floor the other day because a friend mentioned it. It looks whack. Jennifer says 13th was not good. Jennifer says Creepy Hollow was the best. Is that the one? Hold on. Is that the one where you walk through? Oh, no. Yeah, so this is one that was actually on my list. Scheduling wise, we just couldn't make it work. You know, a lot of these places are staffed by high school kids, college kids. They can't just open up on a whim because they have, I mean, what is it? Redrum has 140 actors. And those folks are vital to making the experience what it's supposed to be. So maybe next year. Creepy Hollow, and then there's another one I wanted to do that you're like just walking through the woods. Folks have mentioned Phobia as well. I think they have multiple, eight or so different haunted houses. But it also depends on what really creeps you out, right? If you have an aversion to clowns, maybe don't do Twisted Circus, because it's all clowns. The caves in Asphyxia at Purgatory. If that's not your thing, don't go for it. Shell says, I'm going to be one of those people that can't go all the way, yet I'm excited to go. There is something fun about it. I will 100% recommend bringing a friend, someone whose hand you can hold, someone you can joke around with to like lighten the mood a little bit, or someone whose arms you can run into when you're backing up at an exceptional speed. I wanted to mention one other story that's unrelated to this, but I thought it really fit with the theme. I'll start by asking this. Is there a movie that you saw too young? For me, it was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. I don't know why it was Part 3. Watched it in kindergarten. There are still scenes from that will pop in my brain now and again. My boyfriend Justin thinks it's hilarious because I think it's called Dream Warriors. He found it on Sci-Fi or I don't know, some channel was airing it, and he recorded it. And I got home, he played it. I didn't have any context, nothing for what it was. But as soon as I saw what was on screen, and it wasn't Freddy, it wasn't anything that would give it away. It was when the kids are on like it's toward the end, right before all the souls fly out of his chest. That's the image that sticks with me. But I knew. I was like, Justin, what did you do? Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. I've never finished the whole Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. But if that's something you're really into, guess what? The original house in that's in LA, it is for sale. It's 2,700, I should say, 2,700 square feet, 3.25 million. And it was, the exterior of this was featured in the original. So in the movie, it all played out in the imaginary town of Springwood, Ohio, but it's actually in LA. And here's some fun photos that kind of show the owner having some fun with it. I just could not. Right? No. No. So the house itself, see, this is why it's a big no for me. It was built in 1919. That tells me there's too much history there. There's too much history there. But if you got 3.25 million and you're in the market, it has 3 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, an open concept kitchen, finished basement. Don't go in the basement, guys. And pool and detached guest house. Right now it's owned by a Hollywood director. She bought it in 2013. For me, that's a big no. Let me know if you could ever live in something like that. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful house. If you look through here, I'll put the story in the comments as well, so you can check it out. But no, it's a no from me. My friend Brandi, who I went to Houston Terrordome with, she wants to take me to like the places that are haunted around Texas, and I just can't. Shavana said, when Freddie pulled the guy through the waterbed, I had a waterbed at the time. Nightmare on My Street. No kidding. No kidding. Oh, okay. All of you guys are listing the movies that you saw too soon. Yeah. In fact, the new version, I thought chapter 1 would be, it would slow down, like the tempo of it would slow down like the original, because, it jumps back and forth between when they're adults and when they're kids, and early on when they're adults, it's kind of slow because it's like building toward. I didn't realize this was chapter 1 of 2. So it was full throttle gas the whole time. I did make it through. Chapter 2, I had to turn off at one point. I eventually finished it, but no. Candyman, I remember seeing that the summer. It was the last day of 7th grade. We all went to a friend's house and we watched that and When a Stranger Calls Back. I have never seen When a Stranger Calls because When a Stranger Calls Back damaged me so much. The Exorcist. Did you know science says The Exorcist is the scariest movie out there? That's one it never really got to me. But people have a really, really strong reaction to it. Shell saw Children of the Corn Too Young, Silent Hill. That is one I will never watch. Oh, 13th Fanboy is available on demand as of today, starring multiple Friday the 13th cast members. That's from Tony. Kimmy says horror movies are my fave. My boyfriend's too. And man, I gotta be in the right mood. Also, probably gonna watch them at 3 p.m. Hey, Dion. I'm gonna watch horror movies at 3 p.m. That's it. If you get me to watch one when it's dark outside, that's an achievement. Phantasm, the tall man, Frederick says, is what gets to him. Oh, I thought Jason was going to come over with a horror movie suggestion. No, nothing. All right. Frederick also says, I would have to bring an extra pair of trousers with me. I will note that at Houston Terrordome, and Shannon talked about this, the owner, they do sell underwear in case you need an extra pair for men and women. They're branded and everything. So there's always that option. I see so many people mentioning Creepy Hollow as the best haunted house to go to. Leprechaun, 13 Ghosts. Did I see 13 Ghosts? That sounds familiar. I don't know though. I watched a good number. Oh, I was trying to figure out. I took a trip. I'm working on a different series that starts next week. Working with photographer Kyle Porter, and we had to drive to Austin and back yesterday. And all of this came up, and we were talking about scary movies. I don't know which one. I think the two most, I wouldn't call them disappointing, but the ones that were billed as super scary and then didn't really scare me were The Exorcist and Babadook.
The Exorcist didn't scare you?
No.
Well, I saw it when I was like 6. So
Okay. I saw it as an adult. But that's one that scares my horror buff boyfriend. So, yeah, I don't know. There's so many options. Forest of Fear Drive is a drive-through haunt in Cleveland. New this year, but worth checking it out. Oh, I wonder. Okay, hold on. It was actually pretty fun. A couple years ago, I went up to Spring, and it was GFY Car Wash near Kirkendall. Hold on, I want to see if they're doing it again. They did it a haunted car wash. I love that there's all different things you could do. Yes, yeah, they are doing the haunted car wash again, which is kind of fun. I'll throw that information on here as well. You guys are offering up some great options for next year. Someone mentioned The Omen. That was a movie they saw too early. Okay, so I've gone through all that. I promised you guys a clip that didn't make the final cut for Purgatory. Again, even that talking about my heart starting to race again. This was a moment, it was toward the end of Asylum. And I don't feel like I'm giving anything away because they do walkthroughs and stuff each night. So, and it's not going to change your experience. It's just as scary, even if you have an idea of what is coming. But this was toward the end. I'm solo going through there. This was also the first shoot. I'd gotten a light for my GoPro. So how we were shooting this, generally, there would be a photographer who would walk ahead, and then I had a GoPro on my chest, and then I was holding one so that we could document it pretty well. And it was the first time with the light, and the problem with the light is when I was holding it on this side, it blinded me for everything on that side. So anything that was trailing me could jump out and scare me again. That is not relevant to this clip, but it kind of explains where I was at mentally and emotionally by the time I got to this point in Purgatory. Also, I think this is reminiscent to me of the scene in It Chapter 2 that made me turn it off. So maybe that's also why. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Here we go.
You wanna play?
No, I don't.
No, you wanna play?
I don't want to play. Why are you going so slow, huh? Why are you so slow? Lucy! Oh!
smell good.
Okay. I guarantee I do not smell good at this point. The way I am
It's
sweating.
Really good, man. Ow,
Whoa. No, 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 no.
Please, you're a redhead. I'll see you in a minute. Save me! Please, you gotta save me! It's gonna hurt me, please! Please! Please!
Yeah, that's me catching my breath at the end of that scene. I had to bleep a little bit. Still stresses me out. Someone asked, where is that at? That is at Purgatory Scream Park in Kingwood, right off of North Park Drive. It's impossible to miss. Giant display, lots of lines, huge parking lot. And the brothers behind it, Ryan and Shane, they say they have been doing it. They opened it in 2013? 2015, 2016. I think they opened 13 years. 11. Anyway, they started actually doing a home haunt back in 2005. Started shutting down the street, decided to go pro, I think in 2013, and then they opened it a couple years later. But they told me any money that they're making each season, they're just pouring it back into the house, and that's why they've been able to expand from, it was Kingwood Asylum originally, that part is still there, but then they have Asphyxia and Deadwood and Hysteria, and I didn't see any of those parts because I didn't make it. You could see me catching my breath, and then there's another. There were 2 or 3 moments when we made it out, and I was talking to Chris, the photographer I was working with, and I said there were a couple times, man, when I was about to call it, and he's like, I know. That was genuine emotion, and I got it on camera. I was just over it. I was over it. Shamana says, that's very scary, but for some reason I'm never scared when I go to haunted houses. That's, I wish I could, like, I mean, every time there was a scare, I would laugh, usually. I don't know if I would laugh at my reaction or if it was just my body like releasing some kind of emotion. But man. Sorry, responding to a question really fast from Freddie, who was asking where that was at. Purgatory. But let me know. Keep it going. What are your favorite haunted houses that you've been to here in Houston? We'll add it to the list. I don't know if I'll be the one going through it next year because I don't know if I will be healed by then. But there are so many in the city, and that's what's really cool. We tried to do different sections. So, you know, if you live up in the northeast part of town, you have Purgatory Scream Park in Kingwood. If you live on the northwest side of town, that's where 13th floor is. Southwest, down in Richmond, that's where you'll find Redrum Fear Park, and then on the east side is where Houston Terror Dome is. So lots of different options, and they all kind of have extras, with the exception of Purgatory. But honestly, I don't know if you'd have the energy to do much beyond going through those 4 sections. 13th floor has the RIP Lounge. It has mini escape rooms. There's a zombie shooting gallery. That's all included with your ticket. Redrum has it has 3 haunted houses. It has Twisted Circus, Cinegore, and Deadwood Asylum, but then it also has a laser tag with, it's Mad Max Fury Road themed. So you're up against the War Boys in there. That's pretty cool. And then Houston Terror Dome has axe throwing and a mini escape room and a shooting gallery and Cranium Catch, I think it's what it's called. But again, I shared the links for each of these haunted houses in the comments if you want to go back through, if you want to find out ticket information or schedule information. Most of them are open Friday, Saturday, Sunday going forward. And I think haunted 13th floor just added Thursdays as well, but definitely double check. A lot of the owners, general managers said buy your tickets in advance if you can, because the demand, it's all ramping up. A lot of them opened in late September, and they've just seen the crowds build and build and build and build. And next weekend, of course, it will be at a fever pitch because it's Halloween. Okay, some folks are recommending actual haunted places, and no. Did you see how I could not handle people dressed up as scary things? I'm not people. That's just it. Connie says, I haven't done haunted houses since 1968. Pregnant with my oldest son. His favorite holiday was Halloween. Yep. So many people have said Creepy Hollow. Okay. And Chris says scare because we care. I got scared because we care. But keep it coming if you have any questions. If you're watching this later, I'll try to go back through and answer any of them. But those links are there. Also, the link to the story about the Nightmare on Elm Street house being for sale. And I also included GFY Car Wash up in Spring if you want to go through a haunted car wash. It's just kind of a fun experience. They do a good job. And with that, guys, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up my... I don't know why I am so ramped up right now. Just reliving all of that is hard. I should also mention all of that stuff, the TV version and then the extended versions of Purgatory and Redrum, those all live on our streaming platforms. So YouTube, Fire TV, Roku, if you have any of those and you have the KHAU app, you can watch it. It's at the top of the playlists. So if you're in a mood to laugh at someone just losing her mind going through a haunted house, we have all of those options. They are right there. Roku, Fire TV, YouTube. They're in the stories as well, but it's easier to access them in these video platforms. So, with that, you guys have a good weekend. Oops, hi again. Okay, bye.